Today is a video for the Black community. I am not inherently a racist person. You don't want to go up against us. Let me give you a little reminder of history. You were slaves. We weren't. Do I agree with it? No. But that's the reality of it. Wasn't the other way around. We are extremely capable. We just choose to not do it. We don't want a problem, but we will fucking finish a problem.
In the Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf case, Karmelo was given 35 years, and that was determined what it is that he would serve. Now, this caused such a high rising in emotions at our time now in America, especially with the case with Rick Chow and Cyrus Belton. So those are two very high profile cases that are going on right now with African American young men. And it was very disappointing because we know that if the skin colors were reversed, it would definitely be a different case. Now, it's always a very sad case when anyone loses their life. So ideally, could the situation have turned out a lot different between Karmelo and Austin? Yes, we would have loved for that to have happened. But, unfortunately, that didn't happen. And you have a lot of cases in America that go on. And had those roles been vice versa, then the self-defense plea would have definitely benefited someone not of the same skin color. Doesn't make it right what he did, but it also doesn't change the fact. In Cyrus's case with Rick Chow, they intentionally left the store and chased this child outside. Two grown adults chased this child over a bottle of water and ended his life, and got off basically scot-free. Which brings us back to the case of Latasha Harlins over 30 years ago, where basically history repeated itself. As they went through the trial, they brought up a lot of stuff about Karmelo, also saying that he was not friends with the young man that took the stand, and he didn't identify them to be friends, but it was said that there was some back and forth there. It was also discovered that Karmelo Anthony had saved a young child that was drowning. So just one of the positive things that he did that nobody really got to speak about. That was a story that did not come to surface during the trial that I do think is at least worth a mention. After watching the lead attorney review this case, how he was saying basically that things would have been a little bit lighter, it would have looked a little bit different had Karmelo Anthony family allowed Austin Metcalf's dad to stay during the visual, that the case would have taken a different turn and he wouldn't have gotten as many years had they not kicked him out of the visual. Now, just as a human being, I would say with this case and us not being so close in on the loop, it's hard to say exactly what their decision would have been. You would think it's not much harm in letting them stay, letting them pray, and letting them be a part of whatever was going on. Now, the Metcalf dad has come out since, and he's made a plethora of videos just really expressing himself and expressing how he felt. You have a lot of people online expressing with the tension that this is causing in the current moment. They're expressing deeply how they feel and, their true feelings, which we've been on the brink and the verge of that for years when it comes to racial tension in America. So do we know if it actually would have made a difference in the time that he received? It's just out of human decency, I would say when you treat someone better, you get better. It's just like a chain reaction. So if you treat someone crappy, then a lot of times that's going to come back as well in its own form. So maybe could they have more so humanized Mr. Metcalf? Because if you are a parent that has lost a child, it's very devastating. And from personal experience myself of losing a child, it's not an experience that you want somebody to just railroad over or to even get the backhand comments that Mr. Metcalf has been getting. It's very saddening, and I would like to see our community do better in that aspect. Even if you are upset, even if you are angry, it's still a different way to respond so that we represent each other better. Not saying that the Metcalfs were right. People have a right to be angry. They have a right to feel what they feel because it is an ongoing problem that we have been dealing with. However, there are ways to deal with that. And just because you deal with it in an angry way doesn't always mean that things are going to improve or get better necessarily. Dr. Candace Matthew came out and she spoke about them stepping up to the case. So from the way that she explained it, maybe they were trying to let this case play out because they had a feeling that it would go like how it did. So they would come on the back end during the review or whenever they put in another request to get the case reopened, that they would come in on this end. Now, she may have spoken a little bit too fast because I'm not sure exactly what Charles White's stance is in this case. Now, if you know anything about Charles White, you know that he's very messy when it comes to media stories. You know that he's very over the top, and he even says some things that are pretty egregious and maybe that won't help benefit them in this case. So I don't think that he's the right person. I don't think that he's the right representation. Charleston White is more social media than anything, and something like this is very serious and should be considered when speaking on, and especially as a representation to our community. They also got a lot of flack about the lawyer that they hired and some of the things that he had going on. Now, from what I know, he does have an interview that he did with Nick at Night. I haven't gotten a chance to go into that interview yet, but it was a lot of allegations up against him as well. Dr. Candace Matthew was saying that herself and Charleston White had found some attorneys that they were going to offer to the family, and that they had to select one, and hopefully that this new attorney would get them better results during the review or the reopening request for this case. It's also come out some videos where people are doing things on the grave, and you know what I mean, that they should not be doing. So just releasing bodily fluids onto the grave, and I think that's absolutely despicable. You know, it's a few cases that I've seen where people will do stuff like that, and I just think in today's times, people take stuff over the edge. They definitely take it too far. Like going to somebody's grave, they're already passed away, so for one, they can't see you doing it. Like it's more so of a thing to affect the people that are still left behind, their loved ones, and to get a reaction out of them. But the people that you're actually doing it to, they can't see it. But nonetheless, it's still very disrespectful. Whether you agree with either party, with whatever side you're on, is no reason to do that. This case has brought up a lot of feelings and a lot of emotions. So normally when something comes into the court of justice, it's supposed to make a difference in our society. It's supposed to make a change. But with so much tension going on, I'm not sure exactly what's to come out of this. Because what is the lesson? On either side, nobody won anything. Karmelo lost his life to years in jail. Austin Metcalf lost his life to where he can no longer walk the earth. Even after 35 years, he still won't be here, and there'll never be a day again that will come that his family will be able to look forward to him being around ever again. So nobody actually won anything in this case. And then what is the lesson? I'm not exactly sure what that is too, because I've seen more racial tension more so than anything. Now, one of the lessons that we could take out of this is maybe, possibly the force didn't match, but even in some cases, that's still under consideration, because some people are saying that it was several boys that were walking towards him. So it's like so many allegations going on with this story that nobody is actually getting the full picture. And then the judge is being said, it's being said that the judge was friends with Austin Metcalf's father, so that they were kind of in cahoots, and that the case was shifted to another county when it was supposed to be conducted in one county. There is a man coming out saying that he has plenty of things to expose. There are a lot of people saying that there are things about this case that was not exposed that needs to be exposed. So we'll just have to see how things play out in the media and what more comes out regarding this case. But I would like to know your thoughts. What do you think about this case? Do you think that anything positive is going to come out of this, or do you think there's any lessons to be learned? So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys that's been watching and supporting lately. I know my channel is fairly new, but I really appreciate the people that are liking, commenting, and subscribing. Anything that you could do to support the channel really helps, and I greatly appreciate you so much more than you know. So thank you. Until next time, love, peace, and blessings.